And moving on to the restoration of brick temples, because normally you mentioned you work on stones, and in Cambodia, the brick temples are very common, especially the pre-Angkorian temples, and they are also can be very fragile, and they are, you know, unique in their own sense. Some of the temples are very important. For example, Prai Rup, they are made from brick, Praku, Lolei, and of course
also Pakong, yes, several towers.
Yes, sir. So when you consider brick, how would you approach it? Because bricks are man-made. Sandstones, of course, are natural. So when it is man-made, when you look at them, do you see anything different, or maybe you understand the mindset of the creator of bricks in the past, something like that, sir?
Yeah, actually, our approach is the same.
The same.
Very similar. Observing, documentation, testing, research on the material, etc. And as I said once, we understand brick, of course it's artificially made, but what we are specialized in, it's not only in sandstone. We define it as mineral porous materials.
Yes, sir.
So the materials have pores, they consist of minerals.
Yes, sir.
And this is what is similar. One artificial, one is natural. Yeah, it's the same with the stucco. It belongs also. Cement belongs also to this field. Yeah, in Europe we have modern cement buildings we have to preserve. So we are working on this as well. So the approach is very similar. What we recognized, we had also a student did a master thesis on this. That the brick are very, very, very different. Very many varieties in composition, in hardness, strength, in water absorption, and this makes it very complicated to define the conservation materials, which have to fit a huge variety of. Yeah, we know sandstone in Angkor we have to modify also a little bit because the sandstone has also variations in its behavior. But for general in Angkor sandstone, we need some specific material for the Angkor sandstone type, another material if there would be necessary for Bantasrey sandstone type or Takeo sandstone type. But in the brick, the variation is quite very, very big. Yeah, and especially also the formats. Yeah, Anselm has done a lot of work also in Samba Brickhook.
Yes, sir.
In Angkor, on many brick temples, collected a lot of samples, measuring the brick size at samples, and developing materials for the conservation. And I said, there we have the two possibilities. Either we stay in the ethyl silicate group, or we can also work with lime. But in general, we don't work. We have been working in 1999 to 2005 on the brick as well with the brick team of Apsara. Yeah, but then we handed over the brick work to the Apsara brick team. Yeah, we are working together with them on scaffolding, but we are focusing on these towers, on the sandstone elements, the doors, the guardians, and the stucco, while the Angkor brick team is dealing with the brick material. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But
normally the process, the evaluation, the technique are very similar.
Always, the approach is always the same. Yeah, systematic, step by step, until we come to the point where we can say now we have the materials and the methodology in hand, and now we can start with the conservation. This is very often not really well understand that you need long time to prepare something before you can start. Many people think, oh, you are a specialist, you should start immediately. But this makes the big problems when you don't have the appropriate materials at hand.
Yes, sir. But, you know, bricks, I mean, are they easier to restore or preserve than sandstone? You know, maybe they're smaller size?
Similar. It's similar. There's not a big difference, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Of course, they are smaller size, but of course in the Khmer brick temples, we have, it's more or less one stone block, one brick block. Yeah, you know we don't know exactly how they did it, what glue they used, but the bricks are sticking together, and they made a rough building, and then they carved like like the sandstone buildings. Yeah, all the decoration, all the profiles, etc., is made by stonemasons. Yeah, and actually the brick shrines, you can see it easily. The top mostly is deteriorated, so you have to fix some stones. You have to take care that the water run off is guaranteed. Yeah, that no water is infiltrating into the structure. So you have to close holes. You have to fix loose bricks, etc., which is done by the brick team. Normally not necessary to consolidate with means to consolidate the structure of the brick. Yeah.
Yes, sir, but normally when we observe brick temples, we also often see stucco or maybe mortar that they use to sculpt the sculpture, and over time they are very brittle. So how do you deal with stucco? So is it different from brick and limestone, the way you preserve it?
Actually, we have developed a sort of a toolbox of materials for stucco specifically, yeah, and this is based on lime. Normally, the stucco, the structure is very stable. Oh. It's not deteriorating much, of course. After 1,000 years, of course, the surface is somehow rough and washed out, but nevertheless, the grains, they stick together very, very hard. So it's a very, very slow process that you lose particles from the surface. The main problem of the stucco is that it detaches from the brick wall.
Oh, they don't bind together very well.
Brick and stucco is not fixed very well. Yeah, and we started in Pakong with the conservation of the stucco. Once we found at the foot of one tower in the grass a lot of fragments of stucco. So there was, we don't know when, a big piece of stucco was fallen down. Yeah?
So you cannot just reassemble them. It's not possible to do that.
Actually, we tried, and the student tried out. We could bring some pieces, smaller, minor pieces back, but we should do, it's like a puzzle. You have to put everything on the floor and then check the shape and the edges, etc., which fits together. And of course, we know the rapport, we know the design. Then it could be possible, but we didn't have time or people who would do it. Yes. And maybe nowadays, with KI,
I'm sorry, sir, I do not know that.
Computer intelligence, artificial intelligence. Yes, sir. Yeah, maybe this could be easier when we scan all the fragments and then ask the
computer to
try to fit everything together.
I see.
One day we start with this. Yeah, but this is the main challenge, and very often do you have a gap between the stucco and the brick wall, and of course this has to be closed, and we have to inject to reattach the stucco to the brick wall. This is the work what we are doing at the moment also on towers at Preako. Yeah. Yes. And this is also one of our strategies. The materials, the methodologies, in this case, very often is developed with our students from Europe, from my university. And when they have tested everything, they make a test area to show whether it works or not. And then when we decide, okay, this is a system we can apply, the methodology we can apply, the materials we can apply, then the student normally also trains our team. That they get used with these other materials, yeah, which is different from sandstone conservation, yeah. So that's why our team is able to do sandstone conservation, but also stucco conservation. And they also learned from the other student the materials for the brick conservation. They could do it as well. Yeah.
Yes, sir. But normally your job is mostly on sandstone and the brick are more toward Apsara team, sir.
This the brick is Apsara team, stucco is our team, and sandstone is our team. Yes.
I see.
And
sir.
the only one who were working on polychrome decoration up to now, this was also our research. Yeah. There it's very difficult to make an intervention on the polychrome design inside the brick towers.